Took me a long time to understand that in spite of my desire to be physically free from incarceration, I had to first free myself from my criminal mindset and the distorted values and principles that kept me captive in a state of darkness for so many years. I grew up in a criminal environment in North Trenton, New Jersey, and in the Washington Heights neighborhood of the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where drug dealing, violence, and immoral behavior were justified and glorified, where selling drugs was considered a job, and drug spots were regarded as companies. How often do we seriously consider whether a person who has grown up in such a negative and toxic environment possesses the human capacity to change through rehabilitation, transformation, and redemption? As a Muslim, I personally believe that we were all born with a natural disposition to be good, to be loving, and compassionate. However, I also believe, and studies have shown, that it is our environment, the people around us, and many other factors who influence to a large degree whether we fully develop and internalize these qualities. Good afternoon, everyone. To the Department of Corrections, I am known as Jerome Curry, but my family and friends know me as Helman Franco, which is my real name. I'm standing here today not because I believe that I have all the answers or because I'm better than someone else, but as someone who has learned the hard way the real meaning of courage and growth. After engaging in deep reflection and personal growth, I came to the realization that every crime that I have committed in the past not only harmed individuals, including myself, but also harmed the entire community in which I lived, because even the smallest of crimes causes negative ripple effects across our communities, therefore affecting and harming people either physically, psychologically, emotionally, or socially. I want to express my sincere apology to my community and to all the people who suffer any harm as a result of my reckless and irresponsible criminal behavior. When I was incarcerated in 1996, I was young, reckless, confused, and misguided. I was also angry. Angry at the system because it failed me since I was a young child. Angry at all the people who I believed abandoned me, and most of all, at myself. I have come to understand that no one abandoned me. Rather, it was I who abandoned my family and friends. It was I who turned my back on them the moment that I chose to live by the code of the streets. For many years after my incarceration, I ran away from accountability. Instead, I made excuses for myself to justify the negative choices that I was still making even after being in prison. In 1998, I arrived at Clinton Correctional Facility with a 60 years to life sentence. 60 years. I was devastated, hopeless, and helpless. For several years, I continued to live by some of the most distorted values and principles: gang affiliation, drugs, violence, and even criminal activities in prison. I arrived at a breaking point in my life where I became tired of not being tired of making the same bad choices. My transformation began to take shape with the teachings of my Islamic faith and my recognition that crime is a moral problem that affects everyone. I made the conscious and sincere decision to take steps to correct my negative actions and to cure my criminal mindset. It took a lot of courage, but courage isn't about not being afraid. It is about acting with conviction despite fear. It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. It takes courage to forgive and to ask for forgiveness from others. It takes courage to walk away from old crowds who serve no positive purpose. Unfortunately, in prison, it is easy to act tough or violent. But real courage is when you're not afraid to change. In spite of all the challenges and hardships that I have faced during this incarceration, courage inspired me to earn my associate's degree. Thank you. Thank you. To become a youth counselor with the Youth Assistant Program, to become a facilitator with the Alternative to Violence Project, and to continue with my academic journey in pursuit of my bachelor's degree. Thank you. The amazing power about this kind of courage is that it is contagious. When one person stands up to do what is right, others find the strength to do the same. We have seen that here today. This unique type of courage opens the door to something else that changed me: growth. But my growth didn't happen overnight. No, it takes time. It's slow and sometimes it hurts because it forced me to make difficult decisions. But with dedication, consistency, sacrifice, and patience, growth transformed me from the inside out. Some of you guys may agree with me that life is all about making choices, some which are more difficult than others. But I understood that I had a choice to be positive or negative, to do what is right or to do what is wrong, to be productive or constructive to myself and to others. I may be behind these walls, but my mind and my spirit don't have to be. I might have been forgotten by my society, but I know that in spite of my circumstances, I can still build something great for myself. Knowledge, respect, discipline, decency, faith, and love. As for those incarcerated individuals who are having a tough time, a difficult time making a positive transformation in their lives, I want to call upon you today. Take responsibility for your lives, for your choices, for your actions, for your past, and for your future. Find the courage to change, to become a better human being, and to inspire others to do the same. It would be illogical to believe that I do not possess the human capacity to change through rehabilitation, transformation, and redemption. Just like no one in this room is the same person you were 5 or 10 years ago, neither am I the same person I was 30 years ago. I want to thank everyone for being here, for your time, your attention, and your support. Le quiero dar las gracias a todos por estar aquí con nosotros hoy, por su atención, por su tiempo y su apoyo. Muchas gracias.